Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which as promised I am going to run you through the items which are new in my wardrobe for spring. So I'm going to get stuck straight in with my first item, which is a white denim midi skirt from COS. So as you can see, it is an A-line shape denim skirt, which is traditional sort of 5 pockets, 2 diddy 1, 2 on the back. On me, it's a really good length. It is an actual midi length sometimes because I am a bit taller. Midi is an awkward length, sort of sometimes just under the knee, but with COS I always feel like when they do a midi skirt it always falls at a good length on me, so I'm really happy with this one. And it has got the same split on the front as it does on the back, and it's quite a modest split as well. I think my go-to thing to sort of style this with would be black. I'll be going really basic, either a t-shirt, kind of like what I've done here, or a basic vest. Could even layer over a blazer over the top, add a little belt for some more detail. Could wear perhaps a pair of strappy, like low-heeled mules, I think would be a bit of a vibe, but I'll also wear it casually, maybe with a pair of trainers, or even my Chanel dad sandals when I whip those out. So I think it's one of those items which I can style in very basic ways. I'm not going to claim to be, you know, some sort of mega stylist. My wardrobe is minimal, it's very basic, but that is what I love, and I think this is going to fit in very well with my aesthetic. Right, my next item might surprise you because there's a little bit of colour there, but it won't surprise you because it's another pair of New Balance. Woohoo! So I have purchased myself a new pair of 574s. Now, everyone has obviously different feet, so everyone's going to find varying comfort levels and your feet are going to mesh well with, you know, various different brands. For me, my feet absolutely mesh with a New Balance, and a 574 in particular. Now, I feel like 574s are probably the most well-known and maybe the most classic of all the New Balance styles, and there are many, of which I do have quite a few of the different styles, but 574s are definitely the one that I have the most of. Now, I do have quite a lot of leisure wear in this greeny colour, and actually I've had a lot of requests for lounge wear, leisure wear, active wear, all of that sort of under one umbrella, for a video about all of that from my take on it. So that is actually coming your way next Sunday. So next week on Sunday, that is the time to tune in to see my favourite brands and how I style my leisure wear and active wear, lounge wear, etc. So these will feature again in that video. But otherwise, they are a colour of trainer that I do not own. I have a pair of 550s which have a little hint of green on them, but I don't have a predominantly green pair of trainers. So these have not actually been worn yet, but I am very excited to get these on my feet. Right, my next item is actually 2 of the same item, so I'm just going to feature them together. So these were very kindly sent to me from the brand, which is Almada Label, and this is a Scandinavian brand. They're based in Helsinki, or at least that's where the majority of their team are, but they outsource all of their fabrics and their manufacturing. And their brand actually only recently cropped up on my radar, and I messaged them about sizing for something, and when I dropped them a message I realised that they'd sent me a message over a year ago, and so we kind of got talking because I was actually going to purchase both of these, and then they saw that I was looking to buy them and they offered to send them to me, which I'm very, very grateful for. So this is the Beige cardigan, and I have it in ash, which is this slightly darker colour, and then in taupe or taupe, however you'd like to pronounce it, which is a slightly lighter neutral. Now these are both 70% merino wool, which is Responsible Wool Standard certified and therefore muslin free, and it's sourced from Australia, just in case anyone's curious, and then 30% organic cashmere, which is GOTS certified, so GOTS. I've spoken about that before, but if anyone wants to do a little bit more research into that, feel free. So in terms of styling, I've got a couple of cardigans which I found myself wearing a lot recently, and anything that's sort of wool or cashmere, it's a really good fabric to wear even when it gets warmer because it's body temperature regulating. So despite the fact that you see something, these are really thick and actually quite heavyweight wool and cashmere blend, it is actually still a good fabric to wear even throughout summer. So once again, I think in a similar way to the COS skirt, these will be items which I take through with me into the summer season as well. And they might just be things that I pop on in an evening when perhaps we're up at the pub, in the beer garden, and it's getting a bit chillier in an evening, or if we're in our own garden, and again, it's cooling down in an evening time. But I've been wearing cardigans a lot recently in spring, and I just feel like it's a really good option. You can layer them over basics, like I could layer it over this t-shirt, or over something a bit more delicate like a camisole or something more feminine, or over a basic vest. But they're also something that perhaps just with a lacy bra underneath, you can wear them on their own, so you get a little bit more skin showing. Something I suppose a little bit more spring appropriate. Right, my next items, although they were bought separately, I'm kind of gonna do them as a set, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail because as you can see, it is leisure wear, they're sweats, and that is going to be touched on in all the detail in next Sunday's video. But they are new in my wardrobe, so I did want to quickly feature them in this video. So they're from the brand Pangaea, which is a brand that I discovered back in early 2020, and I ordered, I think we were about 2, maybe 3 weeks into the first lockdown during the pandemic, and I ordered 2 of the signature sets from Pangaea because they originally started out with just sweats, which is obviously what these are, and now they have grown. They've got lots of different sort of categories on their website, and I've tried a few different pieces from them, and I absolutely love everything. Again, a much more premium price point. They're definitely not going to be within everyone's budget, but if you do have the budget to spend on more ethically made and responsibly made loungewear, leisurewear, activewear, whatever, then this is definitely a brand that I would recommend checking out. But again, I'm going to go into more detail next week. So I just got a navy signature hoodie, which I upsized in, and the navy 365 shorts. So they're actually from 2 different collections, but the colour is exactly the same. And I will discuss the differences between those collections next week. Right, this next item, I think, granted, is probably going to be more of a summer item because as you can see, it is very, very sheer, quite see-through and not very substantial in any way, shape or form. So it's a sheer knit from the British brand Jigsaw. I've had a similar one, which I think was by Berger maybe, on my wish list for a little while, and I missed out on that one. It sold out. I think it was actually a couple of years old, so I've sort of kept it on my wish list as an idea, which I mentioned in last week's video of how I sort of manage my wish list. Now, because it's very sheer, I personally, whatever, you know, each to their own. You could wear it with nothing underneath, but I personally will be wearing it with a basic vest underneath. And yes, just because of the thinness, lack of substantiality in the fabric, I think this is definitely going to be more of a summer item that I will wear, and a slightly more dressier item, I think, that I'll probably be wearing on occasions where I feel like I can dress up a little bit, but not too much, because I don't really like to do super, super dressy. Right, my next item is the Ada flats, which of course you guys would have seen, and it wasn't last week's video, it was the one before. It was the 10 things I will be wearing this spring video. They have indeed sold out. I will keep my eyes peeled, and as usual on Instagram, if I find them in stock anywhere, I will of course add a link and references to where you can buy them over on Instagram, because I do keep my eyes peeled on a weekly basis on the internet for general things. So they are I think they're called the Uma flats. I have them in 2 colours. I'm sure if you are a regular here, you'll have seen them by now. Have them in this off-white creamy colour, and I also have them in black. They've got a square toe and really, really beautiful soft, I think it's nappa leather, really soft and supple. They didn't need a lot of breaking in at all. Now, one thing I did notice and have noticed from both Instagram and YouTube, there's been a few comments to say people are quite surprised that I've got these because they're quite feminine. I am not averse to femininity at all. I just don't go all out feminine. You know, I do wear skirts and dresses. I know it's an ongoing joke. When someone sees me in a dress or a skirt, you're like, oh, who is this person? I do wear feminine items. I just balance them out with slightly less feminine items. So like with these, for example, I've just been wearing them with jeans and then a t-shirt and a blazer. So I'm adding on those slightly more masculine tailored pieces and just making the style more me, which I think is what everyone does with their own personal style. Next item is a pair of wide leg, if I move back, wide leg cotton trousers from Uniqlo. These are 100% cotton. They have got two really deep baker pockets on the front and then two normal patch pockets on the back. Now online, I actually bought these in store. Online it says that they are a mid-waist, but I think you could wear them in 3 different ways. You could wear them mid, you could wear them high, you could wear them low. So if you were going to, I'm just going to give you some tips for sizing. If you were going to wear these as a mid-waist, I would say to buy your normal size, your usual size. If, like me, you are taller and wish for them to be slightly longer, I would size up by 1 size. And if you want to wear them high-waisted, I would size down by at least 1 size. I would actually more say by 2 sizes. Now these ones I bought deliberately. I bought these in a size up so that I could wear them lower slung on my hips. As they are a mid-rise, that does mean that I get a bit of baggy crotch, but to be honest, that does not bother me. I don't mind that kind of look at all. I was around in the 90s with the All Saints, not like hanging around with the All Saints, I was a child, but I was of that 90s child, you know, era. So I loved a baggy pair of cargo pants, the ones with all the strings on them. Do you remember those? That when you like walked past a doorknob, you'd get snagged on the doorknob. Ah, memories. So similarly, again, to pretty much everything on my rail, these are going to be something that I carry through into the summer season as well. I actually wore these the other day with my Birkenstock Bostons and a pair of socks and then one of my neutral colour cashmere knits on the top, and it was just a nice casual slouchy outfit. It felt really comfortable but didn't feel like I looked too sort of slobby, if that makes sense. But equally they could be the sort of thing that you could dress up, so vest, t-shirt, blazer, or a camisole or a silky sort of top, a shirt even, and a belt. Could wear them with a pair of loafers, could wear them with a pair of heels. The options are endless, and I think that's, you know, what I sort of look for when I'm adding anything into my wardrobe. It's just something that I've got that versatility. It's all about the versatility and if it meshes well with the rest of my wardrobe. And one more pair of shoes, which will be no surprise. I have indeed added another colour of Birkenstock Arizonas to my mini collection of Birkenstock Arizonas. These are the taupe and they are just the standard Arizonas. Standard in width. I have never bought a pair of the narrow fitting Birkenstocks in my life, and I have very, very slim narrow feet. But in particular with the buckled styles, you've got a buckle so you can adjust them, so I just don't see the point. And I kind of like the chunkiness. I think that is the, you know, the ugly chunky element of a Birkenstock is what makes them Birkenstocks, so I don't see the point in going for the narrow option. These do have the soft footbed and the colour is taupe. The reason I bought these is because I know that I get so much wear out of them throughout spring and summer, and even sort of the early parts of autumn as well. And I wear my Bostons, which are the little cloggy style, which are in taupe. I wear them so much that I just figured I would add the sandal version to my footwear collection. Right, my final new item is so boring, but I'm going to show you anyway, and it's just a new black leather belt with gold hardware. The black leather belt that I currently have in my wardrobe, I have a few different ones with different colour hardware, but I have one with gold hardware because obviously the majority of the jewellery that I wear is gold, apart from my marital bling and my watch. Anyway, the belt. The black leather belt with a gold buckle that I had was about it could even be like 10 years old from Topshop. And I'm not saying 10 years old is, once something reaches 10 years old, that's it, you must throw it away. But I was struggling with it fitting in various different belt loops. So I actually tried it with this COS skirt and it was just too thick and it sort of bulges out a little bit and doesn't look right. So I have been meaning to upgrade that belt for some time because all the leather is cracked as well. So that is exactly what I've done. This was from COS. It is just very basic. It does have shiny hardware, gold hardware, and it is a smooth leather, and it is just a belt upgrade for something that I see as a bit of a sort of accessory essential within my wardrobe. Right, there we go. So those were all of the new items within my wardrobe for this spring. I also am just going to remind you once more, I know you're fed up of hearing this now, but next Sunday's video, for anyone that's interested or for anyone that has requested this, I have the activewear, loungewear, leisurewear video coming your way next week. So for now, if it's a Sunday, enjoy the rest of your weekend. If it's the week, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday.